Is it just me, or is it incredibly quiet out there tonight?
I just walked over to make sure it was working.
Yeah, me too. I think it's working. Line one.
How about it, Dennis? You out here already?
I am out here already, over.
Man, it's the clearest it's ever been. 61 wants to check in early.
Yeah, I know. As I was commenting, where did the skip land go? Maybe they forgot it was a Saturday night and they had to bother us. All right, Dino, I got you checked in, over.
Thank you, sir. Boy, I sure wish it was like this all the time.
Yeah, you and me both, over.
You have a good evening, Dennis.
All right. That is the intent of what we're going to try and do.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, let me make it official, and then we will try for some early check-ins here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, well, I can see my foot switch repair isn't doing that well. The Old Tube Radio Network, thank you to X4000, Billy May and the orchestra, Stan Freeberg, and all the Old Tube Radio operators and SWLs somewhere out there tonight. They will be stopping by what is known, or has come to be known, as the Old Tube Radio Network, the Old Tired Tube Radio Network, those real radios glowing in the dark somewhere, somehow, despite our best efforts. Anyway, my name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair of the Old Tube Radio Network in its very long run here on Channel 11, 27085. Thanks for joining us. You might be listening in at oldtuberadio.net for some audio, or there's a video thing going on somewhere. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us from wherever you are, and hopefully you get a chance, or have gotten a chance, to get on the air this week in some form. With that said, I will stand by. It is a very quiet evening here on the air and all around, and we'll see if we can get a few early check-ins, and then we'll go with the roll call. A guest check-in is always welcome, and you're sounding great here in Midtown Fresno. Who might we have the pleasure of speaking with on the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
This is Dirt Dog 982, Central California.
All right, 982. I used to go by the 980, and the 982 is two better than that. The Dirt Dog sounding great on the Old Tube Radio Network and beaconing everywhere across the universe at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for joining us, and hope to hear you again.
You're welcome.
All right, the very good sounding Dirt Dog starting us off here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Anyone else need an early check-in or a guest check-in? Over.
24 check-in. 109 with an early check-in.
All right, we've got two. Joseph, we've got you 24. Thanks for stopping by. And 109 on an early check-in with an X in the square. Thank you, Mr. Crawdad.
Dennis, put 37 down there just in case. I'm not sure if I'm still going to be around or not, but just in case. I don't know if I'm going to be watching a movie here pretty soon or not, so just to let you know.
Okay, what do they call it? A JIC, a just-in-case check-in. I will put it in the official logbook here, and that way if they don't give you the intermission or you get stuck at the popcorn line, you don't have to worry.
Okay, Dennis, thank you. But it's still beyond.
Also, let me get to Mr. Brown Dog Audio. SWL 57 has got an early check-in tonight, just in case it doesn't make it into tomorrow, which a lot of our listeners on the Universal Media Netweb, this program, this net starts pretty early from them. Also, let's see, 68 out in New York. We've got a check-in for you tonight. I also saw Kenny out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We will be getting to you, and we'll say hello radio to others as we go along tonight. So, Kenny said he heard 1017. Well, we're good for that. Dennis has got a great station. I think he can be heard everywhere. All right, let me get started. And if you need to get checked in or have any items of interest, we will get you at the appropriate time. I want to say hello to Toby is listening out there tonight from the Midwest Sound. Good to have him on board. And so let's get 00 checked in. Stan is listening in. Checked in just a little bit earlier. And so getting us in the 00 mode, and we'll get him also a 71. SWL number 1, of course, Dr. J. And SWL number 2. And OBP reminds us, and I noticed this as well, Kevin, that the sunspot numbers were way down. I haven't seen them in the 20-somethings for a long time. I guess we had a little bit of solar activity, but the bands have still been pretty good. 10 meters, 11 meters has been working well. So we'll see what happens tonight with those lower sunspot numbers. I heard somebody, but they sounded very far off frequency. Let's go to, I will get a proxy check in for SWL3, Mr. Rob. I will also get a check in for Rainmaker. Levon, are you there? He might still be over at ORN, the old radio night. I haven't checked in. I didn't get a chance to check in. We'll be checking in with JT and see what they were doing tonight. And looks like they may have concluded their episode, so I'll see if I can catch the replay on ORN. It takes a while for it to come around again. Once you do a live video, it takes a while for it to show up and get reconfigured into the item of interest. But I think he was using a tram tonight, so we will see. The trams have been looking good here on the old Tube Radio Network the last couple of weeks, for sure. Let's try SWL 7. And let's see, I will get 7 proxied in. He may be in a little bit later this evening, depending on how things go. SWL 10, I did see Chrissy in, so hello 10. The Dolphins should be jumping momentarily on my screen here. The K05, I still hear somebody that sounds very off frequency, or maybe you're on sideband, I'm not sure. The Kilowatt Oscar 5 Romeo November. Now that would be a good call if you were able to get it. SWL11 and SWL12. That is Mr. Cornbread and Dapper Dan. We've got you checked in. Over. Yeah, good S4 noise level tonight. All is well. SWL13. Let me refresh the comments and see if Mr. Cobra has made it in tonight. The break OTR, go ahead. Who is that again? Over. That was 15? Okay, I didn't get the check-in number. All right, is anybody copying? The audio is a little rough on the check-in. Anyway, I do hear you. And of course, you don't need to be on any list or have any numbers to stop by and say hello, radio. We are glad to have any and all stop by, say hello, check in a radio. It always works well that way. Let's go. Where are we going? Sangertown, SWL 14.
SWL 14, checking on in.
And sounding good, doing it on a very quiet channel we have tonight. You're sounding good. Thanks for stopping by. We will have a space reserved for you on the tube list if you are glowing in the dark later on.
Yeah, I'll try and keep my eyes open, and yeah, you're loud and proud out here in Sanger tonight, Dennis.
All right, good deal. Well, it was nice and quiet, so I thought I might be able to get through the roll call in the proper amount of time, and we'll have plenty of time for the radios as well. Thanks for stopping by. The Old Tube Radio Network, Channel 11 is where we are at, 27085, also streaming. If you'd like to give yourself a radio check at oldtuberadio.net, where you can click on a link to find the video. Let's go to way out there where it is already tomorrow. It's been yesterday, today, and now it is tomorrow. Hans, I say hello, radio, Alpha 173, here from Central California tonight. Thanks for joining us as always on the Old Tube Radio Network, and the 15 is checked in. Over to SWL 16 checking in, top of the evening, and likewise top of the evening. And you have, he says he's got something for me. Hold on. You have to find it. Oh, okay, yes, we will use this. Thank you. I will use this for my upcoming check-in when we get to SWL 20. I forgot. I must have forgot. I must have left that in my dressing room, right? Okay, let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18. I have a check-in for Mr. KDA off of Facebook. SWL 19, Chet, right there with the cue cards tonight. It's looking good. I see they popped for a new magic marker, and I can read everything perfectly. So if I mess up, he says agreeing. He says if I mess up, it's not your fault, right? Okay, it's my fault because I can see everything perfectly. Let's go to thank you, Chet. A beautiful signal out of Derby, New York. Let's go to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check in 29 and 54. And I'll have some radios of interest tonight. So we'll catch you later on, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, you have been doing quite well with the radios of interest. It's good to have you in the air chair at the beginning of the nets. It means you're done with all the other stuff that you might have been doing and can enjoy the Saturday night place to be. So good deal. Front row seat. Thanks, Harvey.
You betcha. No ping tonight on this one.
Yeah, it's no pings, milady. Is the Echo Link? I've got it up and running. I tested it. Oh yes, Tony is up, so I know that part is running. So Echo Link is up tonight. The crossband is tuned in to the favorite crossband frequency if you'd like to do that. SWL 21. I am going to jump over to. There should be a video. Let's see if it's playing. We got some audio, and what tonight was tube audio for Miles of Tram TR27E. Old Radio Night. See if I can get some video on. This is the beginning of ORN. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Eventually, I'll have the right knob. Let's try this one right here. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, hello, PH. I can hear you a little bit over here. I can hear you a little bit there. I'm still trying to get everything set up for Old Radio Night.
Got the mod light working.
Standing by.
I like that. So I'm not the only one that, it is a lot of work to get the radio set up, to get the stream set up, to get the audio. And so they do a good job.
I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to.
On ORN.
Trying to get everything set up. So all of a sudden something's going on here. I'll be right back.
No, tell me it's not true. Tell me that everything isn't perfect. All right, well, there it is, the Old Radio Night. Check it out. Saturdays before this program on YouTube, and you just might be able to find out how to get one of these cool there? Old Radio Night T-shirts.
And Indiana Chris.
And thanks for those of you who, after that program, stopped by here at the Old Tube Radio Network and say hello. Boy, that's a lot of CB activity for one evening between Old Radio Night and the Old Tube Radio Network. that will get you going for the rest of the week, no doubt. SWL 22. I should check to see if... do I have a little low frequency? Boom, boom. I've got a low frequency rumble tonight. Let's see who's on. Hello to, up at the top, Los Angeles is joining us tonight. San Pedro. Good old San Pedro. Where I grew up in Southern California, San Pedro was sort of behind the hill, behind Palos Verdes. So I never did get very many good CB contacts out to San Pedro. Derby, New York, Fresno, California station, San Francisco. Hello, radio. I wonder if that's X4000. Copenhagen's joining us. Plymouth, Minnesota. Shinston, West Virginia. As always, Liberty Lake is back. Liberty Lake, Washington. Yellow Springs, Ohio, up in the balcony tonight, along with the unknown SWL. But you know where you are. Over to SWL 22, but I didn't see Tyler on there. How about SWL 23? Got little pop-ups coming on my computer trying to remind me to do things that I don't need to do. Get a proxy in for 23 Skidoo. SWL 24, Joseph checked in earlier. SWL 25. I heard 25 on the Wednesday night net. I think he was going to be busy doing the band thing tonight, so we will let him do that and hope he's having a good time doing it. Over to shortwave listener 27. SWL 28. And see if Gary is by the radio or by. He's always got something going on a Saturday evening. I'm not sure what the treats are tonight. Whether it's he's probably all out of the candy corn. But what he does have is an ice cold Dr. Pepper and a big box of Cracker Jack. Have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you got the little prize out of there. They still give you a prize. I don't think it's quite as good as the ones you used to get. And the Dr. Pepper, what was the thing? We used to say 10, 2, and 4. I don't even know if they do that on the bottles anymore. And that was sort of like when you were supposed to have this drink at 10, at 2, and at 4. That was the way to pick you up with the sugar and caffeine or whatever other things they put in there they didn't tell you about. So, sounds good. That is the perfect recipe to enjoy the old tube radio network, don't you think? SWL 28, Mr. Loner, we've got a copy and a check-in for you. SWL 30, Dwayne listening in at the ready. At the ready on the Browning and the Robin to see if they can check in. Were we to get some skip stations in tonight? SWL 31. SWL 32. We'll check in SWL 33 myself, and I thought the button came off. We were trying to fix the jacket here, and the Bozo control. Everybody out there doing things tonight. And see, let me get Richard. Richard is in. I don't want to miss Richard because I never know when Wild Wildemar will fade in and fade out of the ether here. Checking in South Carolina. Wow. All right, a remote item. So doing the Thanksgiving thing coming up. Trying to check into 235 Monday remotely via the base. Well, if I'm around, maybe I'll listen in and see if Brian and the gang can hear you and all works well. We've got you tonight on OTR, so have a good time with friends and family. And thanks for stopping by. It's late over there, right? Thanks for stopping by and getting checked in. Is Jimmy around? SWL 34. Railroader, who's always busy on the Facebook sites, as in many, many sites, getting everything working on that. Get you checked in, Jimmy. If you stop by, we'll give you a toot on the train whistle. Red Monkey Communications in a little bit earlier from Cheyenne, and hello, Bill, wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and it should be pretty good. We're hoping. SWL 36. And Tony says there's some tropo ducting on the East Coast. Well, could it be? Let me bring up the map. You bring a good question. Let me see if the DX map is showing any. Sometimes the map is a little behind. There's some activity in what is that, above Texas, and sometimes they don't quite check in. But I bet there's some good things in store. So thanks for the DX report on that. Let's go to, we got Chris checked in, SWL 37. What's Sam doing? SWL 38. I will listen. It's pretty quiet. So point the beam this way and give it a shout. OTR listening. Yeah, well, yeah, Richard, you might be in second place on the distance award. We've got Hans checking in where it's tomorrow in Copenhagen. And I don't know. Well, last week we had some ears up in the hills that heard Sammy beaconing in from Byron. Maybe not tonight. There's some activity going on outside. I don't know. Are we having a race? Is the limousine not sounding good? SWL 39. SWL 40. Let's see, I'm going to say hello to a couple stations. I don't miss anybody here. UDX 357, Low Cowboy, joining us tonight over on the video side. Who else is in there? TRX 21, or TR21X, I got to say it right. Saying hello from upstate South Carolina. Sounding good tonight, thank you, and a happy Thanksgiving as well. Let me call Larry again, SWL 40. And Road Dog is out there. Road Dog 507, I see it checking in, of course, from the Hudson Valley CB Radio Club in New York. Saying good evening and pretty soon to be good morning, everyone. SWL 42. SWL 43. Shortwave listener 44, hello radio. All right, 360 beaconing around the corner and down the hill and up your street. Up my street. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for jumping in there. Sounding good. I know it's not as good as sideband, but the AM is working. Yeah, and Ray mentions the same thing with me on sideband. It's a whole different story on putting out a decent signal here. I'll get Paul and Kelly checked in. Hey, if you're listening up there in North Fork, we've got you checked in on the old tube radio network. Thanks. And the cowboy from San Jose. Well, I'm assuming that's the California San Jose. There's a couple of San Jose's around here, but you are doing a good job. Let's go to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Okay, please tell me this one's working.
Yeah, sounds good. Over.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Yeah, I think we're almost a month into the other Robin not working, but greetings from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47. I'm so sorry not to have been around last Saturday night. I had a delightful afternoon with a gentleman that was actually a commander on a couple subs during the Cold War, 34 years in the Navy, actually. And yes, he did spend some time in communications, but that's another story. But I'm here now, and everything is glowing over here and smells great as always.
Well, that one is working. You've got a good S9 signal. The audio is nice and loud. Sounds like a good rendezvous with the other person there. So it's always good. It's always good when there's something happening and it's, you know, you can learn something or do something. So good deal. All right. Well, we're glad you're back with us tonight. We've got you checked in.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, 47 is in. I'm going to give a proxy, actually not a check-in for Sam. I think I saw him over on Facebook. So, Mr. KP, we've got you in SWL 49. And someone told me to get a proxy check-in for Smitty and Sweet Country Mama, which we will do, SWL 50. SWL 51.
SWL 51, checking in.
All right, with that good audio as always, 305 sounding good. X in the square, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
The Old Tube Radio Network, UDX 4570 in beautiful Palm Springs. I was looking at something popped up on my feed about some mid-century modern something or other in Palm Springs. Maybe it was, who's that guy that runs around with the cars? Charles Phoenix. Maybe it was something going on with that guy. And there's SWL 13. Hi, Mike. I didn't see you on Mr. Cobra. I didn't see you on the other chart, so I'll get you officially checked in. Phil is Ontario CB Club 9 Oscar Charlie saying good evening to everyone. Thanks for joining us from Ontario, the CB Club there. Hope you are doing the good stuff. In Glen Allen, Virginia, Wayne saying hello, radio. Thanks for joining us. Was listening to some Virginia stations on 10 meters the other morning. Good conditions out on the 28 megahertz band. When this one is loud and proud, you can always get a good conversation on 10 meters. Actually, talk to somebody and not get covered up. Let's try SWL 52. Okay, I'm listening. Aaron can check in about 4 different ways, so I have to look around. You see me looking around the room to see if any of those ways are coming in the mode of operation here. Let's do SWL 53.
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis, and I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. 73 is the Bel Air Legend back wide.
Thank you, Bob. The legend is sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network, and likewise, have a great Turkey Day coming up. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Caller Radio, thank you for the Thanksgiving greetings over at oldtuberadio.net. And who else? GWD Labs checking in from Coachella out there. I think there's some value associated. Whenever I see GWD, I have to kind of look up at the audio rack, make sure that the lights that are supposed to be winking and blinking are blinking, and that they're blinking in the right configuration. And I think they are. In fact, we have to put up the REA meter. Check the audio. Yeah, okay. I should be pretty good. Doesn't look like it's being overdriven. You got the phase rotator. I've got the decorrelator. I've got all sorts of stuff on to fake the sound of AM radio. So I don't know. Maybe we'll pump it up a little bit when we do the tube radios. Looks like I could add a little bit more, but I think we're doing okay. All right. Radio check has been checked. Let's try SWL 54 on page 3. I've got a check in for Mr. Boardjammer. Let's see, up the hill, way up there, or almost way up there, SWL 55.
From a cloudy 4100, 55, checking in.
Yeah, we actually got some rain that was promised, and this seems to be a warm storm down here, so I'm assuming it's that way up there. You're not getting any sludgy, mushy stuff.
No, it's warm.
All right, well, it's November. Give it a few days. All right, sounding good as always.
Thank you.
And who is that? It's not Junior Samples. It's BR549 checking in. Just one of many. Thanks so much for stopping by the Old Tired Tube Radio Network. Something we do every Saturday evening, most Saturdays throughout the year, here on Channel 11 in the Central Valley of California. So tune your beaconing antenna this way sometimes and see what you can hear. If not, the way you're doing it works out pretty good on the Universal Media Network audio stream. Looking for SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the Net. 56, just for kicks.
All right. Well, be careful. Be careful of those kicks. You don't want to have too many, but a few here and there. A few well-placed kicks are always are always needed somewhere. Thanks for checking in. Just was listening to see if we had any skip coming in. SWL 57. Mr. Brown Dog Audio from Central Kentucky or thereabouts. Yeah, he checked in early. That's right. He said he wasn't sure if he could hang out all night. So I got Mr. BDA 57 checked in. SWL 58. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to give Jeremy a proxy or not. He's a busy guy. Here's another busy guy, but he's not too busy to stop by his favorite Saturday night places to be, whether it's Old Radio Night or the Old Tube Radio Network. And that is the infamous Uncle Hairball, SWL 59. Spank that thumbs up button. What they used to say, you know, if I don't give you a thumbs up, I'll spank myself powerful bad. But I don't know about that. You didn't hear me say that. SWL 60, hello, Joe.
Oh, Dennis, you might not be. Let's proxy, Joe. Give it a shot. SWL 60, trying to check in.
Trying, and you can just sit back and relax. Don't try too hard. You're sounding good, over.
Oh, we appreciate that. Well, we're struggling on this end, but hey, we'll get it sooner or later. Hello to everybody out there. SWL 60 checking in.
Sounding good in the neighborhood here. Joe, Mr. Hustler, got the X in the square. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
And you heard him a little bit earlier, sounding really good into Midtown here tonight. SWL 61 Copenhagen with the X in the square. Dino, if you're listening, still sounding good. Okay, who is that? Neutral. It's the print is so small on my little chat window here. Neutral observation. Thanks for joining us. Hello all. Hello radio. SWL 62. SWL 63, that is somewhere in North Georgia. Mr. Butterbean, we got you checked in tonight. SWL 64. Craig is there. He was in earlier. He might still be saying, oh, there he is right there. 64 checking in. Happy Thanksgiving. And likewise, the X is in the square. Over to SWL 65. I will get Eric duly noted here on the big board. So marshmallows and SWL 66, the Witch Doctor. It was good to hear Jim. He was just loafing along on Channel 11, probably in the horizontal antenna mode, talking to the skip as it went out of the gray line and hitting it with no problem. So if you're listening, Mr. Witch Doctor, it was good to hear you on the band, and thanks for keeping the skip door open. Over to SWL 67. I don't know if you got the internet going back up, but I will give you a check-in, Bill. No problem there. SWL 68. Michael, NY 157 checked in earlier with an early check-in. Speaking of check-ins from Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight at the beginning of the net, our good friend Kenny Used to be here checking in live and direct, and now he stays up late in Tulsa and does the same thing. Thanks, Ken, if you're watching or listening. We got you checked in. Over to SWL 70. SWL 71, Stan checked in as 00, and yet again as SWL 71. Stan, I hope all is going well with whatever interesting things, as usual, you got going on over there. Who is joining us? Van Man, I see you on the list. You snuck in the door up there, but that's not bad. You can come in anywhere you want. He might even have a key. He checks in so often. Chicago, Illinois. Is Jimmy on? I don't know. I have to look to see who's out there. Newcastle, Virginia, Toledo, Ohio, and a host of others joining us at oldtuberadio.net. SWL 72. Hello, Radio Boy.
72, checking in.
All right, you are sounding good as always. I'm putting the X in the square. Thanks for dialing in. 27085 on the AM mode. Radio Boy is one of those stations. If he's got FM, he'll do it. If he's got AM, he'll do it. If he's got sideband, he'll do that as well. So thanks for joining us tonight. And let's see, hold the horses. Are there horses? Well, we'll hold them and hold them back, because we've got 23 Skidoo, who's jumping in on the Telecaster, the teletype here, checking in from Cincinnati, on the road with ETC. They have a strange schedule. They'll play Cincinnati, and then they'll play Portland, and then they'll play Miami. I think their agent is actually trying to tell them something with that schedule. But on the road with ETC, who are going to be playing at the upcoming WKRP Turkey Drop. So no doubt, no doubt they are going up into the plane with the turkeys, and remind them 23, do not, when the turkey goes out the chute, do not follow the turkey. Because I don't think ETC can fly either. Let's go to SWL 73. Actually, they do pretty good job of flying here on the old Tube Radio Network. Somebody told me to get John checked in, and I will do that. SWL 74, we've got a proxy check-in for Miss Jilly. And that takes us up to Red Fox 1. Was that a movie? Red Fox 1 to Red Fox 2, SWL 76. I don't know. I will get Red Fox 1 checked in. He probably stopped by in a moment. From way out in Rhode Island, let's go to SWL 77. I'll get a check-in for 1017. Kenny was saying he heard Dennis beaconing into Tulsa this week. And I'm not surprised. 1017, that's one of the bigger signals here in town, without even trying. SWL 78, Wild Wildemar by way of somewhere back east, doing the Thanksgiving thing. Thanks, Richard, for joining us. You're going to be checking out the remote. Hope it works. It's I think I talked to you on the remote before, but you were probably in Washington when you did that. Here's a guy who was just waiting. He is at the microphonium, ready to key down. SWL 79.
Checking in.
Oh man, that is cool. Citizen Band Radio. 2 words. He waits all week, and all he needs is just 2 words. We got you checked in. And then I click on the mic. All right, I could be so good on my CB radio. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to do this. Let's go to SWL 80. Remember how Elvis used to say, "Thank you very much," and he'd be off. He'd be off the stage. That's you learn from the greats. Coming up next. Oh, I've got something. Chet has got something for me. He's putting down the cue cards. Hold on. Oh yeah, I forgot this last week. To our fans, and I'm messing up my white balance here. Our are fans of Bob and Steve and the banner, don't forget to feed the fish, wherever you might be. Feed the turkeys. I like the way it changes the white balance. Feed the turkeys, but don't forget to feed the fish. Thank you very much. You want me to keep this? All right, we'll put it over here, so I don't forget to take it with me. Thank you. Thank you, Chet. I will remember to feed the fish. Let's go to SWL 81. Yeah, that T-shirt is. Look at, where is this? That T-shirt is the size of a car cover for a Buick Riviera. Look at that. It covers the whole thing. I think this is a. What is this? This is an X. Oh, it's a 3X. Well, you could fit a couple of net controllers in here now, couldn't you? SWL 81. I got to check in for 81. We're over to page 4 if you're playing a home game. SWL 80. There can't be races going on tonight, right? It's too wet. SWL 82. But maybe they're on video or something. I will get Mr. Bones checked in. Ron of the Ditch Banks sideband net fame that happens on Friday evenings here in the Central Valley and the West Coast at 8 p.m. on 36 Lower. If you're around the area, tune in with your sideband radio, whether it be Salad State or Tubishes. And even if you're not in the area, try it. We do get some conditions occasionally. Mr. JZ, SWL 83. We're calling you, JZ. And I didn't look. See, I don't think he checked in early, but I'll just double check that. Way out there in Ohio. Plus, there's the lag on the internet. If you're listening on the internet, sometimes the roll call goes by a little quickly, but I will keep an eye out so I don't miss anything. Yeah, enjoy your pre-turkey day with the big turkey here in the air chair. SWL 84, SWL 86, and 87, and 88, all getting checked in. I was looking at can you see it? Is it hidden? Where is it? Am I hiding it? I don't even see it. Not even the picture. Oh, no, there it is. It's down there. My on-the-air light that is being hidden with all the microphone booms. That was courtesy of Jerry and the ladies. Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. And it's still holding up fine and beaconing quite well. Lest I didn't know that I was on the air. It's always nice to have a light that reminds you of such things. Let's go over to SWL 90. And JZ says, I'm here. All right, JZ, I will make sure that I've got the X in the square, and if I didn't do it, I'll do it again. Look for 83 and the check. Boom, there it goes. So let's go to 90. Yeah. Oh, 91. Hello, Felix. SWL 91. I can get Felix checked in if he is not here, proxied in. You know, a lot of people are out traveling, going from here to there, visiting friends and family, as one might want to do at this time of year. So, understandably, if a few people are not quite in the air chair tonight, we will make sure that you get your proper check-ins. SWL 93. SWL 95. I do believe I saw Mr. Warthog out there in beautiful Orlando saying good evening to everyone. Thank you, 95. How about Mr. Prune Picker, SWL 96?
Yeah, Dennis, this is Mr. Prune Picker checking in, number 96. Have a great holiday, Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too. You know, I was about ready to check you in because you sounded so good the other night on the Ditch Bank sideband net. I thought you had mobiled into town, and you sound great tonight. So we've got some good conditions working, and we got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it.
All right, that's some good audio. Good audio coming out of that station. I like that. Let's go to Boston 97. Hello, Jim. And he's checking in, and there he is with the X in the square. Thanks for joining us as always on a Saturday evening. Waiting for the tubes. It says we've got an update for you another time. Let's not update anything during the net. That wouldn't be good. Let's go to SWL 98 Tracy. I see you in there with the double check saying, have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. We got the X in the square. And Steve says he's been working to unclip the clarifier and the nicotine-stained 2000. There's probably a way to do it. You know, don't cut the green wire. And if you know how to run your audio, why do you need all that stuff? If you know how to properly run your audio, you don't need the extra help. So should make it sound good, because I know you know how to run your audio. Who else is out there? Did I miss somebody? No. Let's go to 98 is in Tracy. SWL 99, Radio Randy, who might be on 40 meters somewhere doing some ESSB stuff. So I'll get to Randy checked in. He will probably stop by when someone says, hey, you know, it's Saturday night. You should spin the dial up to 11 meters. Is it time for, let me go over to the Echo link, and I think the Echo link is working, and we'll see how it is working as we call for SWL 100, 84BAO, KB6GFD. And Tony, by the miracle of Echo link, joining us here.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Great to hear you. Sounding good on your end. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
And sounding good as well. In fact, I put up the REA meter, and I think you actually have you have better audio on my radio through Echolink than I have on my radio going through all the expensive audio garbage. Who would have thunk? Tony is at the TOTA activation site, Tubes on the Air, and we will be joining him shortly with our tube radios, 73, KB6GFD. Direct and net roll call, the old tube radio network. Real radio's glowing in the dark, just coming up in moments. Let's go to shortwave listener 102. John is beaconing in and requesting that everyone have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. All right, a good word to remember, and that is except for the turkeys. The turkeys always seem to not have a good and safe Thanksgiving, or at least most of them. Let's go to SWL 103. SWL 109, Crawdad checked in a little bit earlier from beaconing down from the hill. I've got you in 109. 5150, SWL 110. SWL 111, I see a note from Robert that he was actually going to stop. He was going to mobile into town. Sometimes he does that. It's a real big signal in, because he's normally down in Reedley, but he says, I think the weather was kind of not a good thing. So he is probably smartly and safely staying back at the home QTH. If you're listening, Robert, we do have you checked in. And let's go to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hello, Rickshaw. Wayne, you are sounding good as always here on the AM mode, and we're putting the X in the square. Thanks for joining us yet again for what, the millionth time here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks.
Thank you for running the OTR.
It's always nice to know there are a lot of stations such as Wayne that have been checking in since the 20th century. I mean, the 21st century came around and they weren't even phased. They said, yeah, I'll keep jumping in on Saturday evenings. So it's pretty cool. Let's go to, where are we going? SWL 128. And John is checking in. Oh, it's a long day. I should have given him an early check-in. I'll give him a check-in right now. Said he had a long day. So he's going to get some good rest, and says everyone have a Thanksgiving, or a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we are all planning to do that. Thanks, John. If you're watching the replay, we've got you checked in. Over to SWL 131. SWL 133. SWL 135.
Yes, hello, if this thing is still working. SWL 135 checking in.
It's working. It sounds great. There is no wacky background noise. Did they finally come and take care of the beacon out there?
Oh, you heard about that, huh? Yeah. There's still a fire truck out there, but yes, they did finally get the all the alarms off, and looks like most of everybody's gone home, but there's still a few people hanging around. No emergency.
Ah, all right. Good deal. All right. Well, I didn't hear the noise that you were hearing. It wasn't coming to the microphone, but that's always good that they get it taken care of. All right. I was going to go. Oh, shoot. I was going to go to a Echo. Thank you, Cliff. I was going to go to a Echo Link check-in, and it went away. I know that call. All right, Jeff, if you're watching, I saw you on the link up, but as usual, I'm slow on the trigger. Let's go to SWL 137. Over to up to Tony, SWL 145. And I will get Tony checked in. I will also quickly visit the questions that he puts out on the Friday morning net. Let's see what we got this week. Question number 1: the amateur call sign RAEM, Romeo Alpha Echo Mike, RAEM, was awarded to the famous Russian amateur operator Ernst Krenkel. Before he earned RAEM, it belonged to what? I don't know. A tank? That is like an unanswerable question. Who would know that? It's okay. The Ernest Krenkel, before he earned his Romeo Alpha Echo Mike call, it belonged to his ship. Well, I guess I wasn't far off. All right, question number 2. The combination of a Collins 75A4 receiver. Ooh, I've got one of those. A Collins 75A4 receiver. I should put up a picture of that. And a Collins I know this question. And a Collins KWS1 transmitter, often referred to as the what? So it's a 75A4 and the KWS1. KWS1 was their first, this is 1955-56, their first big sideband transmitter. In fact, it transmitted AM with only one sideband, if you think that's an oddity. And it was called the Gold Dust Twins, and it's basically because if you took that 75A4 and the Collins KWS1, which was a transmitter, an exciter the size of the Collins receiver, and a giant power supply, amplifier power supply that it rolled around with a big blower in it, and it ran, I don't know, 400s or something. And I think it was on the order of about $2,200 back in 1955. So you could buy a car, or you could buy the Collins radios, and that's why they called it the Gold Dust Twins, because you had to find some gold dust to afford them. I am working on getting a pair of those set up, because they did have 11 meters in them. Don't tell anybody. Back before they got rid of that. And so that would be a cool radio to have fired up here for the old Tube Radio Network. So I'm working on that. So Tony, great question. It's always a good question when I know the answer on that 75A4 and the KWS one. All right, I digress. SWL 147, Neil, we got you checked in earlier from Kakalaki. Thanks for joining us from Fayetteville. Let's go to shortwave listener 188. There's Felix. Felix, I see you. You know, I knew you would be there. I thought, well, maybe the internet is slow tonight. So there's the official. I'll put it back up. There's the official 91 check-in. SWL 188. Shortwave listener 195 up in beautiful Course Goal. Mr. Starliner, if you're listening, Jim, I am getting you checked in. So no problem there. SWL 226, Mr. Shockwave. And anybody I missed or anybody would like to stop by and say hello radio before we jump over to the tube radios? And it is still a quiet evening locally. It is a quiet evening on the skip front. But hopefully that will cease and desist when we start asking for the tube radio check-ins, because we want it to be nice and active for that. I have the radio list ready here somewhere, yes, and there are plenty of spaces that I need to fill in. So as they say, help me do that, won't you? The old Tube Radio Network back in a minute or two as we set up for just that. All right, like it or not, you are listening to the old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
Or as they say, your old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, the great Tube radios. Steve Edwards says he's thinking of selling his HT37. Now there's a Tube radio that you can possibly finagle it with a change. Don't ask me how I know this. with a change in a crystal on the 10-meter portion to check in occasionally on the 11-meter band. I think I've got an HT37. It's right over here. It's 85 pounds and it's sitting on the floor. I need to get it back up on the desk. Phasing, what is it? Phasing. Phasing. You phased the carrier out for sideband, and then of course you need a receiver of your choice for that. Who was that famous guy that had one? Bought one. Joe Walsh of the Eagles had a modified. And there's lots of modifications. All right, I digress. Don't get me started talking about helicopters radios, but there's a lot of modifications. That's a cool radio, the HT37. Just gotta get your dial key and get your receiver with it. Okay, we are listening for the tube radios. I have the list. I have signed in from November 18th, 2023. It is the top of the hour. For the first time all year, I think I'm actually on time. Yes, they will give me a gold star for actually being on time tonight. OTR is standing by listening for any and all check-ins.
135, 135. 14.
One element.
All right, we've got 3. I'll take them in the order that I heard. The one element we will be getting to you, so don't go away. 14 from Sanger. Man, I love that extra flavor on the signal, sounding good. Jump into the green room. We will be right with you. And perfectly timed. I mean, you couldn't have done it better. Were you playing the sound effects record to get the train in the background? 135. Hello, Cliff. Take a transmission.
Oh, I got in there first. Good. Yeah. Can you actually still hear the train?
Yeah, it's perfect. Sounds good.
Wow, it's really soft over here, too. The microphone must be cranked up probably a little bit too far. Okay, if I recall correctly, this is SWL 135 on a radio from Winnisquam, New Hampshire. This is the tram TR27 Echo. There are 12 tubes. Again, if I recall correctly, there's 12 tubes in this thing, but all 23 channels, and I'm using a D104 gray bass for the microphone. Back to you.
Got great punchy tram audio. Now that I've been experimenting with a Titan 2, which is, has the same bones as that radio there, I noticed that Tram did something that, and they may have changed it on the Diamond, the D201, the Tram Titan 2A, but they did an audio thing similar to what Browning was doing, and that is rolling off a lot of the low frequencies below 200 hertz to give it that really punchy, bright sound, and your Tram is no exception. On the video side, if you're at oldtuberadio.net, you'll see an ad for an advertisement. I don't have a year for that. It's probably 1963. And on the video, the advertisement features 12 tubes, 17 tube performance, plus 5 silicone rectifiers, 5 double-tuned RF and IF transformers, 23 position transmit, as Cliff mentioned, the 23 position transmit, 1 crystal receive, external illuminated transmit channel indicator, calibrated illuminated 23 channel manual tune dial, and there's more. But back to you.
Oh yeah, all 23 channels, crystal controlled transmit, instantly selectable, but some waiting does occur when using the VFO receive. You got to go find your receive channel. There's a nice fully adjustable limiter, which actually does the JOB. It actually does limit pulse noise and things like that. Does a good job. If you crank it up too much, you really lose your receive fidelity. But just click it on and it seems to do the job. Of course, comes complete with a squelch control, but no RF gain or anything cool like that. The spot switch does its job, and now I got the train rattling by. Oh, I think I'm just the teeniest bit high in frequency, but it should be close enough for you. I've got 085 on my meter. Mod light indicates that I am modding, and so let's see, that's about all I can think of. With the D104, I'm probably not getting as much rich and full fidelity as Ed does. Ed uses a different microphone, and doesn't he get a bit more bass out of his?
A little bit more. No, I tried with mine. I ran it through the audio board, and it totally ignores everything below 200. You can turn it all the way up, and the radio filters it out. Whatever coupling caps they have in there totally ignores below 200. And I think you said you cannot adjust your microphonium. I can hear, and you'll hear the playback. I thought maybe you had a fan going. I forget, you didn't hear the clickety-clack, but it's the train. And we could hear the whistle nicely. So yeah, you probably have to get an amplified mic on that so you could turn it down. You need negative audio. Is it too loud? No. Is it flat topping? No. It's really loud. It's piercing. No, it's good. So don't worry about it. But yeah, that radio is definitely tuned. Maybe it's tuned up for more like a Shure 444 or maybe a lower output mic. You could probably get by, and that's what Ed runs, like the EV microphone, the higher impedance microphone, which I bet has a lower output, so it might be tuned for that. Let's see some of the other things. Fully adjustable squelch, AC off, on, volume control. Oh, well, that's nice to have. Peak modulation indicator, 5x7 heavy magnet speaker. You can comment on how the audio sounds coming through. Crystal spotting, an adjustable noise filter with on-off switch. And I will give you a frequency check on the next key up. Go ahead.
Okay. This is me doing the frequency key up. Yeah, audio is great through the, I think if I remember correctly, once again, it's a 5x7 speaker. That's a good size speaker, for any radio. And the audio is just great. You sound great. Everybody sounds great. You get a little bit extra bass than I do out of, most of the radio speakers. Nice, big, easy to see, and well-illuminated meter, which is great for these old eyes. Going from 0 to 60, and you are currently just above the 20 on this thing, so that's your signal report. You are 20 over, well into the green. Back to you.
I love that big S, the S meter that goes to 60. I did the 0 beat, and it's interesting. You start out a little bit high, like 100 hertz, 100 cycles, and it does the and slowly works its way down to being right on frequency. That would look cool. When I get my little picture, my little scope, my little waterfall, it's going to have some good pictures of it. That would be a great radio. You'll see the carrier just slightly sneaking into a 27085. And somebody says, what? I sound like in an auditorium. Oh! I bet I know why I sound like in an auditorium. I've got the mix. I've got my ESSB mix on. Wait a minute. I'm going to steal some of your time here. So what you're talking about, this is what you're thinking about. Yeah, like that. All right, but you know what? Let me turn it down. I'm set up for sideband. Let me kick that down to about 11%. Now it's probably going to be very, very unnoticeable. Oops. All right, it's all right. I'm losing my foot switch here. So let's see. Back to the radio. Careful assembly. Every chassis is hand wired and soldered. They don't do that anymore. No printed circuit board troubles. Connectors are 100% inspected. Radios, when completed, are completely tested before approval. Back in the day, back when you had like a crew to do stuff. And now, according to this, now all tram equipment is covered by a 12-month guarantee, transferable. Can you believe that? Transferable to any subsequent owner. See warranty packed with your set. Now that is confidence in your radio, don't you think?
Yeah, I'll have to give him a call. Having some troubles with this unit occasionally. See if we can get some extra parts. Yeah, you've got to get that thing going. I'd love to see that. A slight drop in frequency. I have to, on mine I have to be quiet to see the frequency. That's slowly going down to 0851. So yeah, I guess it does very slowly drop, but guys, as long as you can still hear and understand me, I guess that works out pretty well, eh?
Oh, it works out great, and you've got a lot of audio. I bet if you had that up on the meter, and I think those are plate modulated, but you probably got a good RMS push, and so were you to have it on, like I've got here, the REA meter, I'm sure you're up at 125% with some asymmetrical modulation. Looks good, and I do not hear any flat topping or bad stuff at all. Starting us off at top of the hour, the Tram TR27E. That was the radio, the final of the 27 series, the E model. Ran through probably all in 1963, maybe into 64, and then they changed to the Tram Titan, but still a good radio and a loud radio, and something that's got enough audio. So yeah, don't be afraid to experiment with some classic, microphoniums like the Electro Voice or the Shure 444. You've got plenty of audio gain, so even if it's the microphone's a little bit cold on the output, it should work well. Back to you for a transmission, and thanks for getting us started off. Oh, I did show, let me go back to the picture. We were showing the ad, but for someone who is wondering what the radio looks like, there it is. And this is the one that Ed has, but it is a big radio. I mean, the speaker is big, the meter is big, and there's still plenty of real estate to fill in with all the knobs, so probably really easy to work on where you needed to do that. And yes, you do need a little bit of space. If you move the Cobra 29, you're still going to need a lot of space to put this in there. Back to you.
Yeah, it takes up some room, but it's not too bad. Mine is different from Ed's in that it does not have the weird red switch in there, and my case is all chromium. I call it the chromium tramium, and yeah, this was the last of the Tram 23 CB two-way radio Tram Electronics faced, that's what they put on the face of these things, radios. They went to a more, I don't know, industrial, would you call it? Like you've got the two over there. What would you call that? Postmodern industrial kind of look, or what? They changed that, and then they changed again after that, and they started going to the wooden radios. Like the 2A and into the D201s and all that, where they start using or at least cabinets that kind of look like wood anyway. So, yeah, they kept changing and improving things. And with that, I'll send it back to you, and we'll move on. Oh, are we going to do this next week after Thanksgiving, or are we taking that off?
As far as I know, I will be in the air chair for that. So let's assume that it will happen. And then if not, I'll have a post up on the alltuberadio.net page. But so far we are scheduled. They're shaking their head. Okay, all right. They say my name is on the bulletin board for next week, so I will be here. Oh, someone who is, I think it was Jim, Boston 97, who is tube rolling. I mean, the ESSB audio guys, obviously the stereo guys, and I mean, this is audio here. So Jim saying that he rolled a 6AH6 in for the 6AU6 on the first mic preamp in the 27E, and he said it worked well. So something to consider. And I know the guys on the 12AX7s and even S9 radio talking about the Brownings, tube rolling in the Brownings, and the Regency Imperial saying, yeah, you've got a sweet radio. It will take the audio, and you've proven it here tonight, and really push it out without distortion. So you can find that nice little tube that is set up for, let's say more voice than more music. You find the right tube, it will actually even be better if that's possible. So a thought there. Thanks, Jim, and thank you, Cliff, for the Tram TR27 Echo.
What tube was that, Dennis?
Okay, we're talking about the first mic amp, and this is the 27E. And so it would have a 6AU6, I believe, and he rolled in a 6 Alpha Hotel 6, over.
AH6. 6, correct?
You are correct, sir. Over.
Yeah, it'll work. Okay. Well, he said so. I found one in one of my radios and I replaced it, but it'll work.
Yeah, break.
Indeed. And thank you, Cliff. Who's coming up next? Sean, don't go away. We'll pick up the breaker. The breaker, go ahead. This is the Old Tube Radio Network.
Oh, that's just me. I wanted to ask Harvey, did you put a 7981 in this one? I thought you did some tube rolling in here, too, but I couldn't remember which tube you did what with.
I grabbed the wrong D104. I can't remember. I don't think I did anything like change tubes around. You probably have what's supposed to be in there.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I remembered you replaced that one that you're talking about with the 7981, I think. But that might have been for the Titan. I can't remember, so I thought I'd ask. Okay, thanks a lot, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. See ya!
All right, the Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark. Tell the jingle singers to hold on. We got radio stacking up. It's like the runway of the airport. I want to get SWL40. Larry he's trying to find the turkey, so he came out on the balcony, and he didn't find any turkeys, but he did find the Old Tube Radio Network. 40, I've got you checked in. Let's head over to beautiful Sangertown, where SWL14 is jumping up to the microphone. Sean, what do you have for us today? Over.
Well, I'd like to check in my Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV, fresh off of Harvey's bench. Got a new bridge rectifier in it, and hopefully it's sounding good tonight.
Yeah, no muss, no fuss, no buzz, no hum. The new bridge rectifier, that's strange. I guess those can go bad. What are they? Just a bunch of diodes and stuff that kind of pulled you and the AC going on. Yeah, it's good. I will find a shot of a respectable Mark IV, and then we'll go back to you. And that's right, I didn't get to hear the Mark IV last week on your new reverse preamp system. So send it again, sounding good.
It's in a chip, then.
Yeah, so the Mark IV is on a Silver Eagle microphone tonight, and everything seems to be working properly.
Yeah, I just bring the meter up. You're at S9. That is a long shot from the 4 S units of days of yore. That's like 30 dB increase. So you are full quieting, and thank you, Harvey. It's in a chip. Well, that would make sense. That something went bad, or something overheated, or got a static zap, or whatever. So it is doing good. Take a transmission on radio 2. Over.
Yeah, it got a fresh tune-up, and this radio, it really performs well. I was kind of surprised watching it on the meter. It puts out a little more power than the Mark III.
Yeah, it's pushing the power good, but it looks good. It doesn't look like it's over tweaked. Meters are moving forward. The audio is sounding good. That's another telltale sign you get audio backing up or something, but it sounds every bit like a Browning. The Mark IV, the final in the Eagle series, the favorite of some. Mark III, Mark IV, people say that would be my radio, and some extra fancy little additions. They were sort of transitioning. Who knows what they would have had after the Mark IV? They were kind of modernizing it a bit. Would they have gone to a wood case? They went to the digital, or the digital display. They still kept the nice knobs and everything, and there were some other features that you talked about with the dial and the spit. With if you turn it fast, it goes fast. You turn it slow, it goes slow, or something like that.
Yeah, I actually really like that feature. It's called the scan rate, and you can turn it from 1.5 to 6.5. When you put it on 6.5, it'll jump from 1 to 40 in about the snap of a finger. So you can really scan around pretty quickly with that feature on the Mark IV.
All right, well, some engineer got some bonus points when she came up with that idea, no doubt. Radio number 2 from Sangertown, just sounding good. But like I said, the amount of signal coming out of your station now is incredibly nice, sounding good, and the audio to go with it. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV back in the air position, and it's sounding good. So hopefully there was you didn't take the space and you just set right back in that shelf.
Yeah, it's riding high. It's right on top of the Mark III. So I sure appreciate the time tonight, Dennis, and looking forward to hearing everybody else's radios out there.
All right, well, we will be checking them in as they show up on the AllTube Radio Network here, 27085, alltuberadio.net. The video thing going on. Let's see, let's go to the REA meter. I want to say hello to Albert and the gang. I think we've got the link up. Maybe we'll try a little bit at the end of the program, at the end of the net here. If you guys are up, see what's happening up in Squamish. It worked well last week. You guys were sounding nice. Also, wanted to say hello to, who is it? Huntington Beach. Good old Huntington Beach, down the road and around the corner from where I grew up. 007 Extreme at CB checking in. Thanks for joining us tonight. And UDX 357 Cowboy is in there. And who else? Who else is joining us? Anyway, I do have another check-in. Let's see if the One Element, are you still on frequency? Over. Well, I know the One Element was in there earlier. All right, they said, is it now okay? We're not getting the the green light to go to the Jingle Singers, and we will be back on your old Tube Radio Network. So stay tuned.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 3.
I thought you already had 3 radios.
Well, I had a third station, which was the One Element, but he did not come back. So he might have just been checking in to say hello radio.
Okay, then me.
Then you. All right, step up into the air chair. Grab your respective microphone, and as we often say on the Old Tube Radio Network, take a transmission over.
Okay. This is a Tram Titan 4. And it has one tube in it, the final tube. It's sideband, upper, lower, separately, and separate upper, lower transmit, not double sideband. It's also got a fine tune for AM on here, which you're going to tell me if it actually moved a little bit.
All right, well, I was looking to see, I don't know if we've ever checked in a Titan 4, and it's not in my Rolodex, so I'll have to find a picture, because I know there would be some people interested in seeing what a Titan 4 is. The information that I have, and of course, you mentioned it, it is a Titan 3 with the tube final. Although it doesn't say what the tube final is, and it's got a Collins mechanical filter in the front end, and then, of course, it's AM and SSB. So what is it that I'm supposed to do? Over?
Check my frequency.
Oh, check your frequency.
Was that long enough?
No, give it to me again. Over.
Okay, they're supposed to be center slot, somewhat. Okay.
Okay, I would say that you are right on frequency, or maybe you are just a hair low. But I have no tone at 85. I have to go up about 50 cycles, 60 cycles to the high side to get anything. So it is very close to being right where it's supposed to be.
Okay. I'm going to slide it up, then back, then down. This one doesn't move as much as some of the as the Titan 2A. Okay, here we go. This is supposed to be up.
All right, we're listening on sideband here, so hear the tone. We hope.
And my meter went up, but not a whole lot. Here we go down, back to the center. And that's around center. And then I went down. Doesn't show going too far either way. Okay, I'm back to around center.
Okay, yeah, it was hard to follow you, and then I had to tune off so we could hear the tone. And then at the end, you were off. So yeah, it doesn't move. That's definitely not moving 700, like the Browning. I don't think it's moving that much. Maybe 100, 150. What do you think?
That's what I've got. 1 to 2, either way. The Titan 2s, excuse me for coughing again. The Titan 2s move a whole lot. Definitely, depending on where you set the center at, because it's rock bound, you can get maybe 6 or 7 up and down. But this one definitely not. The 3, I don't think the 3, I'm looking for the fine tune is one knob, and I'm not sure if it switches if it moves both receive and transmit at the same time on sideband. I'm not sure. I just looked down at it, it's one knob. This one has 2, one for transmit, one for receive. Okay, Tram Titan 4. I have a second one, and if I can get both of them going, this one's close enough, at least for me. If I can get the other one going, it's going to be for sale, and probably the 3. I have to do a couple of parts replacements on that one, but you heard it tonight. Receives fine, but still want to do those parts replacements. So anyway, those 2, and the Chris 23 Plus that I had, stock mic, tilt bail, new power cord, all that, I shipped it out today. It's gone. Anyway, that should do it.
All right, so the Tram Titan 4, or they do the Roman numeral 4, and I have one question that you may or may not know the answer to. I'm not sure if you answered it already. So we had the TR-27E, the last of the 27s, and then the Titan, which had some similar parts and pieces, and then the Titan 2, which had some similar parts and pieces, but they added the product detector, did the double sideband thing, because Regency was doing theirs. And then when was the next radio after that? Was it the Titan? It would logically be the Titan 2A, and the Titan 3, and then the Titan 4. Those are the ones that had the Naga hide and the wood in which we're seeing. I have a picture of it now. Very, modern stereo looking. So was this all before the Tram D201, which was a Tram Diamond, something different? So am I to guess that they actually took the tube out and then they put a tube back in? Is that what happened?
Yes, the 2As And then the Titan 3, they took all the tubes out. People weren't happy. So they put a tube back in the 4, and it's just the final 6GM5, which happen to be the modulators in the 2As and the 2s. Possibly some Titans, not sure. As far as the wood sides, yes. Top, bottom, and sides. The Naga hide, the Naga hid really well, so they had to use vinyl for the top.
All right, so get out the lemon pledge, the Murphy's oil soap or whatever, and then the Armor All for this radio. Pretty cool. Nice, a nice looking radio for your living room or something like that. The Tram Titan 4. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I don't know if we ever have checked in a 4, and I think part of it was the hybrid thing. When we first started, we really didn't check in the hybrid radios. We didn't check in hybrid radios. But it's been, you know, how many years? So if it's got a tube in the final, and that's what we hear, I'd say that's probably pretty fair game to get it on the list. And I'm assuming that as long as they kept the 5-watt DC input, they didn't have any type of FCC type acceptance on that. And maybe it was easier to do a little mod on that tube to get a little bit more than your 3.5 watts out. Looking pretty good, the Tram Titan 4. I'm going to say that's a fairly rare radio. How many years did they make it, or how many months before they went to something else? And these are the kind of changes that were probably expensive. And this is back when the companies were having competition with the import radios, and so they were trying to do their best to keep the customers. But whenever you make a production change like that, that's got to cost money. You're retooling and buying tubes. So I didn't have a price, but my guess is this radio is probably well up into the $500, $400 or $500 range and things like that. So Harvey, thanks for bringing that by. It really does sound good. Over.
Hey, Roger. Well, they made they changed the transformer in the 3, in the 4, they made it a little bit bigger, or had a little bit bigger one, and it was easy for them, because they made their own transformers. Excuse me. Browning had a person that made their transformers for a long time. And if you look at the transformers in the Brownings, the older ones, you'll see a diamond, and inside it says TECO, T-E-C-O. And the guy that made the transformers opened Tram. And of course, he made transformers for his own company. So there's a big TECO transformer in here. I'm not sure if he kept making them for Browning. I imagine he probably still did. A lot of the tube trams are similar to the Brownings, with the exception of the trams were transceivers and the Brownings were not. Anyway, let it go, back to you. And that'll be it for me as far, well, wait, I got one more up there.
Okay, no problem. We got a little bit of time, so not a problem there. So thanks for Radio 3, the Tram Titan 4 IV. The Titan 5, I don't know. Maybe it's on its way to a prototype. I want to say hello, Radio 2. Speaking of radio and good audio and things of that nature, let me find my list here and put SWL 99 Radio Randy on the list, coming up from, I don't know, or coming down, or is it up? You're coming down from the 40 meter band. You're coming up on frequency. Hello, Randy, 99. We are getting you checked in. Hope all is well with the gang and all. Thanks for joining us on 11 meters. The band is very quiet. and so there are no short skip conditions, but it always works on the Universal Media Net Web. What else is going on? I think that's it. Oh, and they were talking about the tram doctor. Is that Ron? I can't think of what's his name. Ronald? I haven't seen one of his videos in a long time, but it's always cool. He's a good, straightforward guy about, here's the radio, and here's what it'll do, and here's what you shouldn't do, and he knows a lot, and he's got a lot of the cool radios. So I'm always glad whenever we can check in a radio that Ronald has had, or the style of radio that Ronald has had on his bench, and I hope he knows about. I mean, he knows what we do, but I hope he tunes in occasionally and listens to some of the radios that we have here. And I would love to have him join in on the chat sometime and impart his knowledge. So good for the tram doctor. That's what we like to do here. Same way, the Old Tube Radio Network. Talk about stuff. Talk about radio stuff. And if there's somebody has comments or questions or information, it's all good, and it gets passed along, and that just means more people will have their radios on the air. The jingle singers will be doing their jingle thing, and we will be listening for radio number 4 on your Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The break, go ahead, over.
195 checking in real late.
Hey, not a problem. I think I got you proxied in. Well, you sound good tonight, nice and loud. Let's go to the control room here, so that those playing along the home game can see that 195 is getting the official X or check in the square, as always. And doing good, sounding good, and hope you have a good upcoming Thanksgiving holiday over.
Thank you much, Dennis, and really appreciate you guys being out there.
All right, it is fun, and you are one of the stations. I was talking to Wayne earlier. I said one of the stations that actually checked in with us during the 20th century, and we went to the 21st century. You said, oh, what the heck, I'll just keep doing it. So keep on doing it. And someone watching from the UK, where the sun, no doubt, is just ready to come up. The sun is long down here. It is still Saturday evening. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We try to do this most every Saturday. We are on CB channel 1127-085 in the AM mode in Central California on the west coast of the United States. We've been doing this for, a long time, like 38, 39 years, believe it or not, and a while back we added some audio streaming and the video streaming so that others could join in and have a little interesting fun and impart their knowledge and information on their radios as well. So we always have a good time, and we like when people can join us. We are listening, standing by for radio number 4.
Hey, Dennis, can you key up for a second?
This is the basic Dennis, keying the microphonium for a second or two, over.
Thank you. I just set the S meter for the Titan 3. I'm going to have to do it again after I put the parts in, but kind of like doing it. Can you beat my frequency?
Yeah, give me a carrier and I'll see what I can do, over.
How's that?
Pretty close. That's a strange radio. I don't get a lot of heterodyne. I'm going to say you are very close to being right on, maybe a tad low, but it's hard. This is not very accurate. margin of error is probably about 60 cycles before I get the tone, and I try to match it between the high side and the low side. So you are close. I don't think you would have anything to worry about if you don't touch a thing.
Okay, did you notice me sliding it all? I'm going to try it again here.
Seems to go down.
Yeah, it did slide.
That's up.
No, it was off when it first came up.
And that's down.
That's down. That is correct. Yeah.
And that's about back in the center.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier if you talk, because I can actually tune your voice in and get right on. So yeah, when you first came in, it was off. It was low, and then you can hear it, go back in, and then it goes back down. So I don't know if that's something you're doing or if that's something that it is doing. Over.
I was turning the knob. It doesn't say transmit receive, but it's fine-tuned. And I'm going to talk right now and then move it down. That's all the way down. And then I'm going to move it back about to the center here. And then I'm going to keep going and get it all the way up to the top. And start moving it back down to the center.
Okay, I was using your voice. So when you turn it all the way down, you're about 760, so about 200 low, 225. And I think when you say it's centered, it's probably a little bit low, like 30 or 40 hertz low off of 85. Over.
Okay, but then does it go up also?
No, try it again. Try the up. I don't think it's going up.
Okay, here we go. No, it didn't really go up.
Yeah, it's actually easier for me if you talk, because I don't get the heterodyne. But when you say you're going up, it seems like it stays at 85 or in that area. It doesn't go up the amount. The amount it goes down is 200 cycles. It does not go up that amount past 85.
Okay. Well, I wonder what it is in this thing. I'm not sure. I don't really work on solid state stuff because I don't know how. I'm going up right now. I'm going up, up, down, 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 down. And I'm back to center, I think.
All right, I went to the sideband, and it didn't. When you said you were going up, there was no change. When you said you're going down, there was no change.
Yeah, I just went from center to center. I didn't go center to down. Okay, well, I might try an adjustment or so in this thing. Ancient, so I really don't know. And I've got the tram actual manual for this, instruction manual, and the SAMs, but I really don't know, so I'm going to get it as close as I think I can without really messing with it much. And I'll probably keep this one. I don't know. I've got another one. And all of these that I've had all need to be kind of aired out, vacuumed out, cleaned, deoxed, all that. They've been sitting for years. So the other one, I know it's been sitting. Channel selector needs some help. And this one, let's see, well, I don't have it in here, I think. Let's see. I probably have it in the other room, but some of the crystals are bad. I'm going to order new crystals and put them in. So whoever buys the other, like the 3 and the other 4, or this 4, whichever one, it'll have all crystals in it that work. Can't guarantee that they're all right on, but you'll have the crystals. They're 20 megahertz crystals in the 3s and the 4s, so
That's crazy. But I really don't have it.
Okay, there was a strange, let me get back on frequency, a strange heterodyne coming in with your signal. I thought it was the radio. No, it's not. There's something that's down between channel 10 and 11 that's going on. And so when you key up, you hear it if you're watching the video here. That little heterodyne. That is not you. That is some other carrier that you're zero beating with that's halfway in between the channels. Yeah, these radio things are a mystery sometimes, aren't they?
yeah, I just tuned while you were talking. I didn't hear anything. Okay, I must be in a what's happening on channel 10 free zone. Okay, I'll turn it back to you. Let other people get in there.
All right, no, I can actually hear it when you unkey. I can hear the boo, 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 boo going on. So I'm not sure, that might be something locally to me. The old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. We are here for another 15 minutes or so. Thanks for joining us on Channel 11 at oldtuberadio.net on the video side, and we are in the Tube Talk time. So bring by your Tube radios and check them out.
14.
And 14. Hi, hello again, Sean. Let me put you officially on my list. And yeah, I can hear that little heterodyne thing on your signal as well. So it's something that's happening around here, but it's not affecting your signal in the least. Over.
Yeah, I'd like to check in my Cobra Cam 88 tube radio.
All right, man, signal is super good coming in. We'll find the Cobra Cam 88. I think they had the one more tube radio, the 98 after that. The Cam 88. I'll get the stock picture. I know I've got some better pictures to do it justice. But to give us a transmission on the audio, make the mod light dance around a little bit and tell us the microphonium that you are using. Over.
Yeah, the old modulation light is illuminating quite well tonight, and the microphone I'm using is a stock B&K microphone. But as I was sitting here listening to Harvey, I was looking at it, and when you flip it over on the back, it says it is made by the Static Corporation.
That's on the microphone?
Yeah, that's correct. It says B&K in the front of it, embossed into the plastic, and then on the very back of it, it says it's made by the Static Corporation.
Okay, that, and who was it? Turner and Shure did a lot of, I don't know, or had a lot of their microphones either rebadged or things like that, where, well, you know, why reinvent the wheel? If a Static's got a good microphone and they'll allow you to put your name on it or to modify it for the radio, that's what you should do. And then, of course, they got to have their logo on there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a nice radio. I like the way it sounds. The speaker has a good tone to it. It doesn't have a whole lot of adjustments. You can do a fine tune on the receive. You got a volume, a squelch, and then CB and PA are your buttons there.
Yeah, I've got a shot here. Let me go to the full screen. Channel selector. I'm assuming it is illuminated, but I'm not sure. Is the light bulb in yours working? Because that's a pretty small little window there.
Yeah, it is working. It is illuminated, and obviously on channel 11.
Channel 11 is a good thing, and you have, let me find the one that has the range expand switch, front fire speaker, and the S meter. Not the biggest S meter, but it must be functional, right?
Yeah, Yeah, that's correct. I get about a S4 with your signal on it tonight, and it also has a light. It's illuminated as well.
Okay, and you have volume. Oh, it's got the fine tune. That is for your receive. Is there a notch? Is there a hash mark on your fine tune? Is it straight up in the 12 o'clock position?
Yeah, it is. It's straight up and down, and I was rocking it back and forth earlier, and it seems to receive the best in the straight up and down position.
Okay, well, I'm always having people do tests for me, to do zero beats. So let's test your fine tune. I'm going to make it so that, and I'll see if I can do this right. I'm going to make it so that you're going to have to turn it to the left to make me sound good. So here we go. I'm going to do a little something here. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to follow me down. Tell me that if you go left now, does it sound better? Radio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The old Tuber Radio Network. What do you think? Over.
It seems to chase it a little bit, but not much of a difference.
Really? I'm just wondering how wide your bandwidth on that. Let's go up. All right. Let's turn it the other way. So I'm gonna jump over to the upside. Maybe I'll lose you on the center. Maybe I'm losing you on the center. But if you go up, does it sound better? Over.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, I got you at a S5 when I turn it
Yeah, because I changed my frequency a little bit to see how your tune is working. Sometimes those are off. They'll be, even though they say center, they're actually favoring a high or a low side, and that's one way you can tell. If the station goes above and you lose it really quickly, then it's centered on the lower side. But there you go. So it's working. If we're able to kind of move it and tune me in better, that means it's working.
Yeah, actually, when you went higher, I got a better signal than I get when you're right on the money, and I tuned the knob which way and the other. The best I can get is S4, but when you went up and I turned the knob up, it went to S5, the best signal I've ever got on receive.
Yeah, and that is some adjustment. It obviously doesn't really matter too much you're hearing it okay, but that's always a test to see where things are tuned or what is centered. And, when skip comes in, sometimes that's, you can tune around. You can fine-tune that thing, and you will hear stations a lot better. There'll be 50 stations, and you'll put that tune to the high side or the low side, and all of a sudden it'll pull out one or two really clear because they're just far enough off frequency, and your radio catches that, and it sort of attenuates the other one. So it's kind of a nice trick sometimes to see if it works, and it's a good feature to have on. It's always an extra bonus when you've got one on your tube radio. Speaking of which, radio number 4, the Cobra Cam 88. Let me go back and see if I've got any wisdom on our Cam 88. No, I don't have any prices. I don't have any tubes. I don't even have a microphone readout. So it is what it is, but it's sounding good.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I consider it priceless. Got it from Harvey, and it'll never go anywhere. I'll probably go to my kid when I'm gone. So thanks for the time tonight.
All right, and good S9 signal coming in tonight. So doing a good job here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. We are going to head over to the Jingle Singers, and they are going to ask. They're going to plead for impossible radio number 5 on your Old Tube Radio Network. Maybe. Or maybe not.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Wonder if our little rain shower helped out. Maybe cleared the air up a little bit. Not a lot of static. And we're not right in the storm. Otherwise, you'd hear the, the static crashes going on from the lightning. But I don't think we have any of that. So we're right in the good spot of the storm here, listening for radio number 5.
Dennis, I have an update on the Fresno State game.
All right, update on the Fresno State game. Let's see, was it last week we didn't do too well, or we did well? But what is the current update over?
We did okay last week. Doggone it. But although we've got them by 3 points, we are in the third quarter. I think about 4 or 5 minutes into the third quarter. But we've got them by 3, scores 12-14. Fresno State's hanging in there.
And who are they playing?
New Mexico. I'm sorry. New Mexico.
All right, well, hopefully they can hang in there. I'm assuming we're probably in the third quarter.
Yeah, we're about 4 minutes into the third quarter. And it's looking okay. We've got the ball. We're at 4th and 15. 4th down, 15. Oh, boy, they've got a long ways to go. We're on the 39. I think they're going to try for a field goal.
All right, well, you take the points where you can get them. Take the points where you can get them.
Although if they miss that field goal, they're going to leave New Mexico sitting pretty good. Midfield anyway.
All right, very, very good. At least they'll be set up for something. Let's see, who is the station? Somebody mentioned that they had a night kit that was like the Cobra. There it is. It's the Night 2565. Yeah, it looks like it might have been a Cobra-esque kind of radio. There's the meter and the mod light and the channel selector. So a little bit different, but maybe the same internal workings, made by ECI. So thanks for bringing that up. Made me look through the Rolodex here, and let's see. Somebody asked another question. Yeah, we checked the weird squeal. That's a heterodyne on my end. Something coming through my receiver. That wasn't in the radio, and you heard it on the other radio check-in. And the switch under the modulation light do. If you have that, and notice the night kit doesn't, but the Cobra Cam 88 had the possibility of having it or not, and that is a range expand. So it's one of the amplified, like a range booster, a modulation booster, modulation amplification switch is what it did. And some of them had it and some of them didn't. And that's on the Cobra.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
The 2565B has the range boost.
On the night kit?
Yeah, Roger.
Okay, because someone mentioned they had one that looked a lot like that, and I found it in the Rolodex, and indeed they are right on that it looks similar. And I don't have a 2565 Barrage. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a night KN. Let's see if we got a shot. Here we go. This is perfect. All right, so here's the. I get to it and get a better shot of it. There's the KN 2565B, and you are correct, sir. There is your range expander switch right where it's supposed to be.
Of course, they're clones.
Yeah, and then I think he's got a shot of the B. That's another B. Here's a different shot of it. Yeah, so KN. So were you able to put that together? I wonder if it was a night kit, if it was actually truly a kit. And so you'd save, back in the day, you'd save about $30 for building it yourself.
The ones I got already built.
All right, I'm going to be counting and amounting. There is some more time to get radios checked in, and let's see. I'm going to check in with, fire up the satellite here in a moment and check in with the Squamish boys, see how the conditions are up there, but there's still plenty of room on the tube radio list for your radio. OTR standing by.
How about this one?
All right, you caught me right in the middle of a counting and a mounting, and I didn't want to lose my place. That one will work just fine, over.
You ought to make up a little stamp, ink stamp, and just put down the Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 by Browning Lavatory with the custom D104 with the medallion on the back of the head of the D104. Thank you.
I never thought of that about that, and since we've only been doing this for 40 years, you would think that we would somehow have gotten into the 21st century with the way we do things. We're actually do have computers involved now. That's nice.
You got that right. Okay. Check this little puppy in, and that'll be it for me tonight. I'm going to go, oh, look at this. There are dates stamped into the chassis of this radio, the Titan 3. Yeah. Oh, Merry Christmas. December 28th, twice, stamped. Then I think it says November, no? Was that, I don't know, November 20th, and then it's 1978, I think it says. Hard to read.
1978. What radio is that?
The 3.
Interesting. Obviously, it was before 78. So you say they're stamped in. That's not is that a factory thing or something different?
I was talking about ink stamps, and this one looks like an ink stamp. Yeah. How about that? I'm going to look at the 4, see if it's got it. No, that's weird. I got to get a magnifying glass out and look.
That is weird. I wonder if it was resold or something and they had to put a date on it, because the manufacturer date should certainly be before that.
Well, it might be 1970, but let me take a good look.
Because they would have had to been 40-channel radios with that date on them.
Well, 78, yeah. Okay, let me take a quick look. I can stick my head in it.
All right, so we've solved the mystery of the range boost switch. Were you to have the night kit, it would be the B model that would have the range boost switch. Jingle singers are ready to do what they do best, the old tube radio network, accounting and amounting.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right, and I'm trying to see if I can't log into the Squamish uplink. It's being a little bit squirrely here tonight, but I'm going to bring up the volume. We're listening in at 27085. Let me put it up on the meter here. So if Albert and the gang are out listening, see if we can get their signal to show up. This is the old tube radio network. As you can hear, and if you've got the videos, you can see it's like it is here in the Central Valley of California. It's a very clear unadulterated skipland kind of evening up there.
How about it, Dennis? If you copy me, I'd like to check in my Courier Spartan SSB and old 23 channel there, Dennis. 428 on the base. And thank you for doing this. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody out there. If you copy me, 428 up here in British Columbia. We'll be waving a hand to everybody. Take care, Dennis. I'll pass it back to you, sir. 73. Thanks for doing this.
All right. The 428 British Columbia with some very nice audio. And a good signal. You can see that signal going down the item. Looks like it's just a little bit low off of 287085, but really, really nice audio. And again, perfect timing on cue. Good, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 kilohertz wide on the audio. So, yeah, it is working nice tonight. Thanks for joining us. Not sure if there's some other stations. I'll turn the volume back up, and you're probably listening to the replay right now. So if you're listening to the replay, go ahead and take another transmission as we're listening in up on the satellite uplink from Squamish, British Columbia, the Old Tube Radio Network. This is the basic. Dennis, over.
Yeah, Dennis, I'd like to check in 256. Albert, I don't know if he's on the air, but yeah, I'd like to check him in. Take care. Thank you for doing this. I'm glad the old Courier Spartan's working there, 10-4. Thank you. 73, Dennis. I'll be on the side listening.
All right, Spartan is working. Let me get back to the control room here. Sorry, Harvey. And I want to double with you there. All right, yes, Harvey, go ahead. Over.
You did, but it doesn't matter. I've been, doubled up on before. Yeah, it's probably 1970, because it's in the June 71 SAMs.
Okay, that would make more sense, but I mean, if it was a factory kind of stamp, or when it came into a dealer, they stamped it so they knew, or like they said on the tram radios, where they said we check each one, we burn them in, and probably had some stamp saying, yeah, it's good to go, and out it goes. But that's kind of a nice find. That stamp, that ink they used back then is still, it still works. The ink they use nowadays, you get a receipt, and in 3 months you can't even read it anymore. What's up with that?
Less than 3 months. Okay, I gotta go. Great show, Dennis. And hey, I think I'm going to catch you next week. By the way, if you need any assistance during the week, let me know. I'll see what I can do.
All right, I've got a big project that I'm doing for the station, and that'll be done on Tuesday morning. And then I will probably devote a lot more time to this other thing to see what I can do. So I will let you know. Over.
Okay, I work Monday and Tuesday. I think I have physical therapy Wednesday. Thursday I have mental therapy. No, I don't do that. So I think I'll be okay later in the week.
All right, you say that now. I'm okay, you're okay. That was another 1970s thing. And the jingle singers and Mr. Announcer said...
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
This would be the current and final totals tonight. I managed to get 5 radios in, and there was a duplicate. There was the trams. Again, the trams have been looking good all this month. Last month, the tram TR27ER first radio of the evening from Cliff. Sounding very good. Nice audio on that with the supplied the D104 microphonium. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV back on the shelf where it should be. From the Sanger Air Chair, Sean, sounding good with the S9 signal. And the Mark IV is good, putting out good audio. Nary a hum. So the replacement of the bridge rectifier was the good thing. Radio 3 Tram Titan 4, is it a first? or last for the old Tube Radio Network. Another good sounding audio without even trying. How do they do that? The fourth radio, the Cobra Cam 88. You have one of those night kits. Could be the same thing. Maybe someone built it, but probably a Cobra inside. Thank you, Sean, for the Cobra Cam 88. Always good audio between the two. And I should have given you a signal report. I'm not sure who had the better signal. I think they're about the same, about S9 for both of those coming in. And then Harvey on the Browning R68 T68 Golden Beagle. Go back to the control room here. Glad we got to listen into the Squamish boys, the skip, because of the time change. We haven't. I'm really expecting that we should be getting some of the north-south Pacific stuff coming in as the air gets colder here. Sunspot numbers are down to 28. We are still right in the middle of cycle 25, so that should go up. So stay tuned. Keep your radios handy. Have fun with them. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend. And as always, if you are studying for or will be studying for an upgrade or your first amateur radio ticket, keep doing it. It's a you'll enjoy it. It's a fun hobby. Antennas are easy to build. You might have to take a second paper route, like I do. Get that second paper route so you can afford some of those fancy radios. But it'll be well worth it. So 73, everybody, and Mark, Voodoo Mark, is polishing the Cobra Cam 88. After seeing the beautiful rig. Where is the Cobra tonight? It is a good rig, and I don't know if you have the version. If you have the Virgin that has the switch for the range boost or not, that's probably the more popular one. And so yeah, we're still We're still looking for a meter for that. So there you go. If you find a night kit. If you can find an old night, I think that's the same meter, because it's basically the same radio. I'm trying to see if I can, and of course now the computer's not working. 2565 Bravo. Let me bring it back up here on the screen. There it is. Let's get the close-up. So a night kit, 2565 Bravo, probably has that same meter. So find a an eBay parts radio, and I bet that'll fit right in there. All right. 73, everybody, your old Tube Radio Network saying have a great rest of the evening. Good morning to our stations where it is good morning, and we will catch you. We should be here next week, so have a great Thanksgiving. And who is it? Mrs. Calabash. Good night wherever you are. Over. It was nice having that rain this week. Rain today, I think, cleared up some of the atmospheric wackiness. All right, 42 in Rockwood, Tennessee. I will give you, because I can do that, I will give you a quick weather report here. He said, hoping that indeed he could. Temperature's 57, humidity's 85. The barometer's up, so we're out of the storm, although it is possible we'll get some more rain. We've got 1/10 of an inch of rain since midnight. 72 plus 1, 74 minus 1, it's all good. Thank you, Hans. Always good to have you joining us here. And yeah, of course, don't forget to feed the fish. And can I turn my psychoacoustic Back up. Yeah, there you go. Now it sounds like him in the auditorium. That's what they were saying before. It's a step away from the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, for your extreme pleasure tonight, the Tube Radios, thanks for joining us. Not a problem, Levon. We got you checked in.